Alexander the Great, Ammon, Jupiter, and consciousness. That is Zeus, Ammon, Zeus, and consciousness. This is translated from Greek. Yet another great seal of what we have so far revealed to you is that our planet is living in historic times and is preparing for an upgrade. And of course, all the kingdoms evolving on our planet, as well as humanity, will be upgraded at the same time. This is what is happening in Amphipolis. This is believed to be the tomb of Alexander the Great. Some believe, some don't. Now, Amphipolis is a town in northern Greece that has been found. It's about 500 meters in circumference, while Philip II of Regina had a circumference of not more than 120 meters. Philip II was Alexander the Great's father. So we see that Philip's tomb in Regina was a lot smaller than the Amphipolis tomb, whose architect was Alexander the Great. He was the same architect who established the city of Alexandria in Egypt. Now you can see that when Philip II's tomb is 120 meters from Alexander's father, which being Alexander's father, from which Alexander took many elements to make the journey he made, you can easily imagine who he might be in Amphipolis. That is, why was Amphipolis' tomb so much bigger? And why, while we've known it for decades, why suddenly in 2014 there has been so much of a doom on our planet and a global interest as to who is the person that the Amphipolis tomb was built for and who could be buried there. And by the way, they have not yet excavated all the chambers that are down there. Now, even here, it's a seal on all the mass depravity that of lies and truths, and so all humanity could be lying. Alexander the Great, who during his expedition, during his natural life, which started from Greece and reached the depths of Asia, deposited in his days a leading doctrine which controlled the following. Each Greek is a barbarian if he does not have virtues, and every barbarian is a Greek that does have virtues. That is, he wanted to give the message clearly to humanity of unity and that the only purpose of mankind is to be flooded with real virtues. Therefore, he came to lay down his own stigma to enlarge the consciousness of mankind, and because he led all of his enormous campaigns neutralizing every enemy. But even then, the then representative of who were the Persians, his own contribution to humanity was to expand humanity's consciousness. In earlier texts, we clearly show that all mankind, except mutants and clones, is single and has a common mission, and when one helps to show to mankind what the common mission is, and indeed regular struggles, it is called a big mission. To remind you of what consciousness means, we have written, consciousness is the information that every human being with his five senses derives from the natural world. Then, in other words, vision, sense of smell, touch, and of course all this is complemented by the education given to him by all who train and associate him during his life. That is family, school, church, states, friends, work, etc. The subconscious is the personal archive that each soul bases on its myriad reincarnations of all previous incarnations, and everything in it is recorded. Now, I don't believe in reincarnation because we only have one chance at this, but I'm just quoting what this article is saying. Going on with this, what he asked for when the soul was incarnated, these arcs are manifested from the first day that the soul is incarnated, coexist with the consciousness during the course of its natural life, and this is continuously done until the soul is freed from karmic obligations or else lessons to be learned and taught, successfully pass them on to higher developments. No, we only get one chance, but this is what I'm reading here. In the subconscious, recorded every skill that the soul carries on its journey during its incarnations, mathematical, musical, research, etc. Superconsciousness is the craving for each soul, that is, with the help of the mind, that which has naturally reached the higher realms of evolution, has united the consciousness, the subconscious, with the superconscious being of the Creator God, and the missions of all forms is to return to the unit from which they began. Yes, we can obviously do that from now, being united with Jesus Christ. Now, going back to the article, this whole package, in a word that defines it, is called consciousness. That is, in a nutshell, consciousness is what determines the evolution of either human person or group of all humanity. Therefore, Alexander the Great made this clear. He had that spiritual education, and he tried in every way to enlarge the consciousness of mankind. The phrase we mentioned above, every Hellene is a barbarian if he has no virtues, and every barbarian is a Hellene if he has virtues. That's exactly what he certifies. He didn't come to teach me, he came to teach mankind virtues, because a soul returns to the Father only when it is flooded with virtues. So even today, whether Alexander the Great is buried in Amphipolis or not doesn't matter to humanity, but you see that even here, the means of mass extinction of humanity once again trying to sleep with you, to make you fall asleep. In other words, not to be alert and aware. Now, and the world is trying to find out whether or not Alexander's body is buried in Amphipolis, and they are not even concerned with the intangible value that Alexander has given us by trying to expand the consciousness of mankind. That is why we tell you that in the year 2014 AD, which has so preoccupied mankind, whether or not the body of Alexander the Great is buried in Amphipolis, is precisely why he, in his immense efforts, sought to enlarge consciousness for all humanity. Indeed, there is yet another revelation for all of you here, because the days are overwhelming. When Alexander crossed over from Egypt, the Egyptian priests named him son of Ammon Zeus, Ammon Zeus. The word Ammon means hidden. Obviously, when the priests of Ammon Zeus, oracle in Egypt, proclaimed Alexander as Ammon Zeus's son, they knew very well what they were doing. Let's also remember that first, before going to Egypt, he went by Jerusalem in Israel. He went to the Holy Temple of Jerusalem, and the high priest did tell him of the prophecy concerning him given to the prophet Daniel by Archangel Gabriel. So he was very well aware of the Old Testament prophecy concerning him. So now, concerning the Egyptian high priests, the phrase Ammon Zeus has now been revealed to you and means hidden mind, and it's already known that the mind is the only means available to mankind to unite the means with the outside hidden and with the obvious, matter with the spirit. So you realize the enormous value of Alexander, and the name of the great is precisely that. Through his education, he had raised the inferior mind, which is usually trained by all mankind to a higher mind, had precisely identified the problem of humanity at that time, and with his criticisms in his representatives of the Persians, sought to unite humanity and even broaden the consciousness of humanity, making it clear that all humanity is equal and that the only difference that can be had is whether or not there are virtues in each individual. That is why, through his work on humanity, you understand the difficulty of being able to annihilate the representatives of some people that have no spirituality. And for all that he has offered to humanity, he was rightly called the Great. That is exactly what's happening today, because Jesus Christ had not yet been incarnated at that time. The divisive religions, Islam, Pope's infallibility, the Middle Ages, world wars, had not come the time of the year of Alexander's efforts to prosper. But today, what Alexander did at that time to try to expand the consciousness of mankind is identical to the present day. The present era has been certified since February 4th, 1962, that humanity is officially entering the Aquarius era, and that the entities that are trying to blacken our souls are trying utterly with all their powers on the planet to reduce the number of humanity to continue their destructive work and the awareness of humanity. Mankind has already awakened to such an extent unprecedented. Even those who have not yet awakened question with all powers political, religious agents, provocateurs, fought economic crisis, fought wars and all sorts of fought world events, etc. This unveiling of the knowledge you hold in your hands came to give you all the complementary knowledge you need to rely on you alone and no one else, to reveal to you in detail everything, and at the same time to inform you that Alexander's attempt to expand humanity's consciousness and imprison the black entities, the demonic entities that create people that are unjust and without virtue, and those who serve him are now on the verge of extinction. It's precisely what is happening on our planet today with the return of Alexander's work, which is out of material bodies and is clearly dealing with spiritual knowledge, which is the only weapon that you can rely on to be able to transcend past life, physical death, and unite with the universe. In fact, in addition to Alexander, I remind you that he had the title of Song. He was given in Egypt he was given the two little ram's horns that he used to wear on his head, depicting that he was a king. So that's why in many illustrations appears as he's wearing rams on his head. And still, the bull animal, one of the four animals in John's Revelation, depicts matter, because we have told you many times that mankind is now in a different evolution. The new symbol for the new age of Aquarius that rises to our planet after what is soon to become the cataclysm is the winged bull. That is, the winged bull is a symbol that indicates, one, all the kingdoms on the planet are upgraded, and of course all humanity, and two, a man on the bull who represents the upgrading of the intelligence of mankind and its union with the universe, with no curtain, no trapping, and no darkness. And still, the depiction of the winged bull has to do with Alexander the Great's struggle to expand humanity's consciousness, as well as with the great spiritual teachers. This illustration is as follows. In the next chapter, in addition to the winged bull that has already been revealed, we will tell you precisely because shortly before the black entities, the demonic entities, disappear from your planet, he makes desperate attempts with his powers to continue to enslave you as a human, which you all know is because of his sealing, the demonic seal. Now, closing the chapter on Alexander, we told you what his work on humanity was and why we called him the Great, Alexander the Great, and how little it mattered whether or not his body was buried in the Amphipolis tomb. So as you can clearly see, the consciousness of the ram's horns, or the bull, or whatever, the son of Ammon Zeus, is near you, along with spiritual beings and help from above that you cannot even imagine. So don't be afraid of anything, just take all this knowledge of truth and light and unite it with your heart, and therefore with the divine. And good luck, they say. And this is from Via Drasica, and I'll leave a link below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.